It's morning time. Don't know when you're watching this. I got a little tequila here. Look, a little tequila. Say hi. Want to make sure my audio is working. If you are watching, this audio is a little hot. Let me bring it down just a little bit. All right, if you're watching this live, give me a 1 in the comments. If you're watching this on a replay, give me a 3 in the comments if you're watching this on a replay. Hey, it's Gary and my little rescue cockatoo tequila. It's early in the morning. What is it, 6:30 or so in the morning? So I have an event today, so I'm getting started really early. Talking about starting early. A lot of people wonder why I get up so early and don't feel that you have to get up early to be more successful. That is pure BS. It's not what time you get up, but how much time you put in. That is the bottom line. It's not what time you get up, but how much time you put in. So make sure you're putting in the time. You only get out what you put in. And what's interesting is when it comes to success, we all have to have specific beliefs. You figure out what your goals are to attain those goals. There are a set of beliefs and values that you must obtain to get that goal. Unfortunately, there's so much noise and information out there. A lot of people don't know what to believe, and I am looking around like a chicken without a head because I want to make sure that this is going out live because it may not be, and here I'm talking to myself. I don't want to be doing that. All right, so I'm going to go into one of my groups real quickly. I'm not going to waste your time for that, but hey, let me go in there real quickly. Let's see. Am I going to see myself? Ah, there I am. Okay, yep. I think it's going to work. It's a little dark, huh? Yeah, that's really dark. I've got to lighten that up later on. Anyway, so let's talk about beliefs. It's interesting. All the beliefs that you have, ultimately your every belief you have, you either adapted by it or you adopted it. So you either adopted it, meaning, did I pick one? Do I pick this belief? Do I pick that belief? We're the sum total of everything that we've ever experienced from the day that we were born to this very moment. And again, your beliefs, you either adapted them or adopted them. So you either adapted where it just kind of like you went along with it, you don't know any different, or you actually adopted it and say, hey, I want to buy that belief. So here's what I mean by all this. Often when experiences, especially the things that program us, are often the very high emotions or the negative emotions. When we have negative emotions such as trauma, things like that in our life, often it creates some type of programming. And the programming that it creates, most people don't realize that it's being, that's a programming time or moment. So what you want to learn to do is when something major happens in your life, especially something that's emotional, you have to ask yourself, wait a minute here, this could program me for more negativity. Do I want to accept that or do I want to change it? That's how you adopt it or choose not to adopt it. And if you're not careful, you'll be adapted by it. You'll just adapt and go with the flow. And that's where you're not consciously aware of the things that are happening to create beliefs and behaviors in your personality, in your lifestyle. So these are very, very important things. So let me repeat that. You are the sum total of everything that you've ever experienced from the day that you were born to this very moment. So ultimately that means all of the books that you read, the religion or the cult that I was in creates part of your programming. The country or culture that you were brought up in creates part of your programming. You stop and think about it, the kind of foods that are in your culture, like, some of you know I was born and raised in Jamaica, and the foods in Jamaica are different than many of the foods in the United States. The culture is different. The culture, we have a very warm, friendly, kind, loving type culture. Other cultures are not that way. So ultimately, if you look at the results that you want to get in your life, how are you going to get there? What are the beliefs that you've adopted that will get you there when you're already successful at certain things, losing weight, a successful relationship? What are the beliefs that you adopted to get you there? And many times, if we're not aware of these beliefs, then what happens is you become like a kite in the wind. Wherever you get blown, that's where you go. And that is not a way to have total control of your life. So think about that. For a lot of people, they have so little control emotionally that that's like the wind. Wherever they get blown, that's where they go. And those are the type of people, man, you can just push their buttons and they'll just lose control. That's where we don't want to be. So back to the sum total of everything that we've ever experienced. Can you identify some of your behaviors, good or bad? It's really cool if you can identify some good behaviors. Do you have good behaviors that you can identify that you know how you got these behaviors? Like maybe your parents, not that you're going to be successful if you do this, but maybe your parents are the ones that taught you how to make your bed in the morning, or make sure you make your bed every morning. And there's some people 40 years later, 20 years later, they make their bed every single morning. How did it happen? Somebody told you that. So a lot of times the things that we are doing that we were taught to do are good. And sometimes you can remember exactly what they were. But what about the other things that maybe you are doing that does not bring you good results? Can you remember where you got that behavior from? Now, whether you can remember or not, it's kind of irrelevant. The bottom line is if you're getting results that are great results, so you need to know what the behavior and the belief systems are for that. Make sure you maintain that. And if you have results that you're not getting or you keep stretching for that you can't get, what are some of the programming or the belief systems that you bought into? I'll give you one of mine that I have to consciously be aware of to be more successful. And my belief system is I was taught that, and a lot of people that were brought up Christian, I do that lightly, but anyway, because I was supposed to be considered a Christian in the cult I was brought up in. Anyway, still consider myself a Christian. But I was brought up to be taught that if you're struggling and things are hard for you and it's difficult, it means you're doing the right thing because Satan's attacking you and you're doing the right thing. So I'm constantly in the affliction addiction mode, right? I'm addicted to affliction. It's like, well, if you're happy, you're doing the wrong thing, because you're not struggling, you're not fighting against Satan. I mean, I've been programmed, like, I'm talking serious program. We're talking church stuff, 5 days a week programming. You're not allowed to read anything else other than their propaganda. We're talking years after years after decades after decades after decades after decades after decades of this bull crap. It's crazy. So I have to watch those patterns in my day-to-day life. I have to constantly, because I'll find sometimes when I get to a level of success and it feels really good, I feel so uncomfortable with it. I feel like, wait a minute, this should be more painful. So what do I often do if I'm not careful? I'll go find something, another project to start over that I'm not used to, that's difficult in my mind because I'm not good at it yet. Until I become good at it, then I change gears again. Can you relate to that? And sometimes if you can relate to that, that doesn't mean you had the upbringing or the thought processes that I have. That's just the human nature sometimes for people. But it's worse for me because I've been so programmed, you're doing the right thing if you're struggling and unhappy and, because Satan's fighting you and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, whatever. Okay, got it. So just wanted to share that with you this morning. I've got a full day left to go. I started today, like I said, at 4 o'clock in the morning. Again, it doesn't matter when you wake up. It's the time that you put in. And one other thing, too, that I want to share with you, that this event that I was at yesterday is such a reminder of one of the things that I teach, is sometimes you got to change your personality. What? Change my personality? Something wrong with me? No, there's nothing wrong with you. But if you have a specific goal, and your personality and your programming is not conducive to attain that goal, something's got to change. If you don't change that, you will not get that result, period. So I have seen so many things that I've wanted to attain, that I've had to attain, that the Gary over here wasn't ready for, so I had to make some changes. I think a great example is this. I love these shows. Like the American Got Talent and The Voice and stuff like that, especially like America's Got Talent. You see people that most of them are convinced they have some talent, but they're not, if they're good, they're not convinced how good they are. And they come on stage, they're a little shy, they're a little intimidated. You see they're nervous, some of them are shaking. And then, when they're given that microphone to sing or they're given the stage to do their act or whatever, boom, they like come alive. And then what's interesting, if they're good, they get to the next round and the next round. And then if you compare the first round to like the fifth or sixth round and you watch their personality, you will see that they change, because what's changed in them, they're now got true confirmation and validation that they are really good at what they do. They've never had a group of, you know, 1, 2, 4, 5,000 people standing and cheering for them and all this positive stuff from social media. And now they start coming out of their shell. And for those who win, you see them like a year or two later, they are like totally different people. So they changed their personality. A lot of them didn't do it consciously. They did it subconsciously because they pushed themselves to get in front of people. They got a reward for it. That felt good. So they knew what the outcome was the next time, and then the next time, and the next time, and that changed their personality. Sometimes if you don't get that immediate validation in front of thousands of people, you have to force and change that personality to be that person that you want to be. So these people that got to, you know, the finals or whatever, you'll see that they really started changing their personality unbeknownst to them, but it was a powerful thing to watch. So think about that. Anyway, just chit-chatting with you a little bit today. I will work on that color. I definitely see that color is a little dark. We got new cameras, so I've got to work on getting that all tweaked. Don't forget, if you're still here with me, this Thursday, that's what, 2 days from now? 2 days from now, this Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm doing a program on showing people how to, especially like authors, coaches, consultants, speakers, high-end business level people that are doing in one, I can show them how to do in one event what they make in a year. That's really, really powerful. So if that's something that you're curious about, DM event in the comments, DM event in the comments, and I'll get somebody or myself to drop the link for you. It's really cool. It's at no cost. First time ever I've done a program like this at no cost. So take advantage of that. It's going to be about 90 minutes. Really, really good stuff. I'll convince you beyond a shadow of a doubt how speakers like myself can make 100,000 in a day, 500,000 or more, and more importantly, convince you how it's even possible. Just possible. All you need is a possibility, how it's possible for you. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me. Tequila, can you say goodbye? Tequilas, they do what that's called preening. They take their feathers, each individual little feather, and clean it up. So they spend hours a day preening and grooming their little selves. All right, everybody, I'm out of here.